prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as. Look at the shields on the lock.
Oh my god, the ball is going to take him.
What's up, everybody? This is Pain User.
And this is HD.
And we have a winner's bracket round 1 game for you guys between Complexity's Stall Life. I know his username says Steak.
That's an awesome name.
We're not going to call him that. He will forever be Stall Life. I don't know if I can do that. I think I might be abusing my caster privileges a little bit right now.
Well, what's going on with Korean players often changing their names now to just something
arbitrary
completely...
English words?
Yeah.
Anyways, Complexity Stall Life spawning as our green Terran at the 3 o'clock position, and we have Rock's Kiss BratOK spawning as our red Terran at the 12 o'clock position. This is going to be a TVT for you guys, and our map is Terminus.
Yeah, TVT is always a good match to watch. I actually think this is the most dynamic of all mirror matchups, and the reason why I say that, Pain, is because there's so many different ways you can go about executing your Terran versus Terran. In Protoss versus Protoss, there's only, 2 certain builds that kind of work: 4-gate, 2-gate Robo, and very other things that may or may not work. But in TVT, it's very solid. There's many things that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. TVT always kind of breaks down into this positional war.
Yes.
With siege tanks and
I love it.
Trying to sneak into areas that are advantageous for you, and if you're able to get to those areas and siege up, it's so difficult for your opponent to break a siege line if you're near his base.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of World War I. It's all about this kind of trench warfare where you've got lines of tanks and you've got to actually lift off buildings or use ComSat in order to take that additional advantage, because siege tanks actually have, I believe, 13 range, but when they're sieged up, they only get 12 unless they have a unit spotting for vision. So really, it's a very complex and micro-intensive Terran versus Terran is, and I'm looking forward to seeing a good one here.
Yeah, the sight range on tanks, I believe, is 11, and they get 13 range, but if you have something spotting the additional 2 range, they get a bonus +2 range, which is always so nice. You can use scanner sweeps, floater racks, but oftentimes it really comes down to air supremacy. Players will use Vikings to pick off their opponent's spotting units. Oftentimes medevacs, Banshees can be used as spotting units. You always want at least 1 to 2 air units to complement your siege tanks in order to continuously spot that extra distance for your tanks.
Yeah, that's so important. And it's actually, in Brood War, the matchup was very similar, but then StarCraft 2 really introduced the Viking into Terran versus Terran. It became basically the staple unit to assist tanks and allow them to have that additional +2 range. So, I think the matchup, if it goes on for a long time, obviously it's going to boil down to tank versus tank warfare, but not just the tanks. They're not just the sole unit in TVT. It's also about the fodder units on the ground as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have a scout getting taken out by Stall Life. And in the corner of Stall Life's base, we do have a factory going up right now. And he does have his second gas going up as well. Over at Rock's BratOK's base, we do have a command center on the way, and we do have another Rax. So he is also mining out of both refineries, but still hasn't dropped a factory. So looks like he's going to accumulate quite a bit of gas here, but he just started accumulating it, so not getting any upgrades just yet, not getting a factory just yet.
It's kind of a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Rock's Kiss BratOK.
Yeah, I mean, the Ukrainians have pretty interesting names, but I like White Raw. That's a cool name.
He changed it to Duckload Raw, though.
I know. Well, Duckload is his sponsor.
Right. You can't diss your sponsor.
Yeah,
you got to put on the name.
So we do have a factory going down now for BratOK, and that's just a little bit delayed, but he still has that command center up so much earlier, and he's really going to be able to utilize that to pull ahead in the economy here. Now, Stall Life did get that early factory, and now he is adding a starport, so he switched that immediately onto the starport and put the tech lab on there, so he's going to get a Banshee out right away. It looks like he is going to invest in Cloak. Cloak is on the way, so he's investing that 200, and let's hope he gets some damage done, because that is a huge investment.
Yeah, it's really kind of hit or miss, and you've said this before, Pain User. The Banshee is kind of a unit that you hope it does a lot of damage, but if it gets scouted and if there's a turret or anything to deal with the Banshee and the Cloak, then basically you've invested all this gas and money and really hasn't paid any dividends at all. Now, a Comsat goes down from Stall Life, detecting the starport of BratOK going down. BratOK really needs to get an NGB. Yes, he has an NGB going up, so he should have a missile turret in time.
That first Banshee is on the way right now, and it looks like it is going to cross over the Zelnaga Tower, and it is going to get spotted by this Marine here. I don't know why.
Yeah, why did he send it over the middle?
I don't know. It was possibly just to clear out the Zelnaga Tower. Maybe he actually wanted to deny vision there for some reason. I don't know. It's beyond me, but there is a starport up now for BratOK. He's probably getting a Viking out, and there is a missile turret going up in the back of the mineral line. This Banshee is going to be able to get quite a few kills, though. 4 already. Looks like he will get a 5th and stop that turret from going up.
Yeah, he actually gets quite a few kills with this Banshee. Going in here now, racking up a 6th kill as he backs his way out of there, as the Marines are now down on the ground and able to ward that Banshee away. Banshee. I always call them Banshees for some reason. Everyone says I call Banshees. Anyway, whoa, Stall Life coming up the front here with some Marines. A dual-pronged attack here, but a Comsat going down the Vikings!
I thought it was still in range there for a second, but yeah, Stall Life definitely not having enough units to accomplish anything there. And it looks like we might have the cutoff here.
Pain.
He may be repairing with that SCV. Oh, and he just misses it. BratOK actually going for a cutoff with that Viking. Very good perceptive awareness from BratOK. You know, had he continued to run away with that Banshee, I think it actually would have been taken out, but there was an SCV there ready and waiting to repair the Banshee, and it looks like he'll repair that and then head back in for a second run. We do have another Banshee in the main of BratOK right now, and it's picking away at a few Marines. It does have 4 kills right now.
Yeah, Stall Life here, prepared on all fronts. He has his own little repair shop here at Zone 43. And he's kind of got this going on where the Banshees will go in, do some damage, come out and get some repair. Looks like BratOK's going to scan Secret Area 43, and he's going to be able to take out some of the Banshees.
It's a makeshift helipad for both of his Banshees, and that Banshee is going to go down. The other Banshee is going to escape, but just barely. He might have to use another scan to actually take that one out. How low is that Banshee? No, it's at full, so probably not going to go down here. He does have a scan, however, and it looks like he might get that second Banshee. No, not going to be able to get it, but Stall Life has put down his natural expansion. He has been mining for quite a while now. He's also up 57 to 49 supply, so Stall Life actually playing a great game right now, was able to delay BratOK's expansion by so much, and he's actually taken the lead in terms of supply and economy.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on every single point you make there, Pain. BratOK is behind in the army right now, and if we look at that income tab, he is behind in harvesters as well. One thing he's got going for him, he got siege a little bit earlier, but he hasn't really made much use of it, as now looks like Stall Life is going to get siege of his own, and it just now finishes. And I think now we are going to be seeing a pretty big macro fest here, because both players on a map like this, it's so likely, and so many tendencies will go towards players getting this quick third right next to their natural, and we're going to see a long, long TVT.
Yeah, absolutely. Both players kind of settling down into that macro phase right now.
Yeah.
And we do have 2 Vikings coming in here for BratOK. Going to go after that Banshee. He really wants to get that second Banshee. Hasn't been able to do so just yet. Actually, that's probably the 3rd or 4th Banshee, but he is going to get a full scout on Complexity Stall Life's base. God, that steak. Stall Life keeps mixing me up.
Just call him filet mignon.
I'm just going to continue to call him Stall Life. I will not allow his name to be adopted as steak. And there we go, 2 Vikings landing, and they are going to kill these 3 Marines.
Yeah.
Vikings actually, in very small numbers, can do all right against Marines.
It makes sense. It's a Gatling gun versus a Gauss rifle. What do you think is going to win?
I don't know, dude. If you go by that logic, Vikings should be able to kill every unit in the game, and they certainly cannot. They get absolutely destroyed.
I think they get like a kind of a smaller Gatling gun than what players would expect. Oh yeah, the Marines are able to take out the Vikings. I'm surprised he went in there and was so aggressive with those Vikings.
BratOK actually, getting a little bit greedy right there, trying to take out a bunch of SCVs with those Vikings, but I think he underestimated how close by the reinforcements for Stall Life were. Stall Life just able to pull a couple Marines directly over there and get the job done immediately, and Stall Life taking a ninja expansion at the 6 o'clock position. I really like this move by, or wow, BratOK is actually expanding to his third as well. So
Yeah.
both players taking their thirds at relatively similar timings. Now, what's going to be interesting to see is if StallLife, and StallLife coming in right now. Stim is just about to finish for him. He also has 4 siege tanks, and he is going to head into the natural just about now.
Yes, indeed. Both players sieging up, and this is what we were talking about, Payne. When the 2 players have siege tanks, that dropship, the air supremacy here provides the tanks additional 2 range. In fact, you guys can see that little white line right there. That's the range, the ultimate range of the siege tank. And right now, BratOK has to compensate with the ComSat to see the vision of StallLife siege tanks. Almost got a mistake
and it
right
looks
there.
like StallLife is going to maneuver around to the right here. He might try for an elevator to the main. No, he's just going to head back. He will take those 2 siege tank kills, fall back, and continue to macro up. I would love it if Complexity's StallLife took his third right now, or his natural third, rather,
because
and
this
went
is
up to
hidden,
4
right?
bases. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would not be expected, and he is floating 800 minerals, so he can definitely afford to get that command center up and running. And oh my goodness, he's going to Maynard several SCVs from his main all the way down to the 6 o'clock position and start mining down there.
Yeah, you're right, Pain User. If StallLife were to go for the third right here, it would be complete. Well, this wouldn't be hidden, obviously, but this is completely hidden right now, and StallLife really has that advantage going for him. He's got a hidden expansion. He can get a lot more mining going down there if he opts to go for the normal tertiary expansion at the third. Looks like we have some Marines exchanging firepower here as BratOK is trying to control some of the Xel'Nagas here, and StallLife maybe once again pushing out. We do have StallLife also getting armory, so we may be seeing some upgrades for that mechs pretty soon.
Yeah, we may indeed, and BratOK going to go ahead and stim in here, but I don't think his army is nearly big enough to deal with StallLife. StallLife with a vastly superior tank and Marine count. You know, neither player really willing to commit and make a move right now. I would love to see StallLife get aggressive here. He just has such a big army, but it's going to be difficult for him. Both players moving their tanks in right now, and he is going to siege up second.
And that looks like BratOK is going to be able to do some damage, but not enough to overpower StallLife. StallLife having more Marines there and able to penetrate through BratOK's forces. I love what BratOK tried to do. He tried to take the initiative and stim forward and pick off the tanks, but it didn't work out in his favor that time.
Yeah, StallLife's army just so much bigger, like I said, and StallLife actually sieging in a much better position.
Yeah.
Was able to get the upper hand off the jump in that battle and just took it right out.
It's all about initiative in StarCraft 2, man.
Oh, especially in TVT.
You got to make the right decision, and you have to make sure you do it quickly with no hesitation.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And he is going to repair up these tanks. I love that, just being so thorough. Oftentimes, players will not repair those tanks. They'll keep them in the deep red, and they'll just get taken out by a single tank volley. But he is taking care of his tanks. He is recycling them and getting, you know, extra mileage out of those tanks. I love that. And it looks like he is going to move in here and try and push for the final of the game, and he's going to siege up and head in there. BratOK leaving with a full drop ship, and he's going to lose all of his tanks. He's going to be forced to bring those back and try and drop on top of the tanks, but that's not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah, he's going to be able to drop a couple Marines, but like you said, not able to accomplish much. I wish he had been paying attention right there because he could have utilized his dropships and brought out some forces, but really, at the end of the day, Payne, I feel like his armory is just too diminished to compare to StallLife's.
StallLife doing a great job right now, sieging up on the high ground over the third, taking a positional advantage. For BratOK to do anything about this, he will probably have to move tanks in range. He will also have to move Marines in range, so he is more than likely not going to be able to deal with this. And wow, StallLife just shelling away, hitting the command center at the natural, hitting all the reinforcements, and BratOK is looking to be in a horrible situation right now.
Yeah, for all of you guys who don't know who's winning the game right now, when enemy tanks are shelling your command center, that's when you're losing. It's
probably a bad thing.
It's a good indicator. Yeah, when you have fire coming out and explosions popping out of your command center, that's bad.
And so we have a ton of Marines stimming in here. He will be able to pick off all of these siege tanks, and he's probably going to kill a majority of the SCVs here. And what a great move by StallLife. He might be able to clinch the game right here. Well, he has clinched the game.
I'm pretty sure he clinched it about 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, once he took out that third, he also had that fourth base at the 6 o'clock position. You know, BratOK could have made something happen. In TVT, you think you're down and out sometimes, but if you can make a recovery with tanks and diminish his tank count, you can actually crawl your way back into the game. But, you know, BratOK just absolutely on his back foot here. He's forced to withdraw into his main. He is setting up tanks in a very good position at his main, but he's defending his main.
Yeah, like we said, whenever there's explosions occurring on your side of the territory, never good. BratOK now has actually been split off from his third expansion, forcing the lift off here. BratOK now is only mining off of one base. Actually, he's not really mining at all, as SCV's deciding that today's not a good day to work. Maybe it's Sunday. I don't know.
Oh, man. Supply differential 60 to 160 right now. If you look at the production tab, Stall Life has things going across the board. BratOK is virtually making nothing.
It's the Great Depression for BratOK.
And there we go. GG is called from BratOK, and Stall Life takes the first game of the series, going up 1-0.
That was an awesome game, though. I have to say both players really played well, but this is not the end. Once again, this is for IPL Season 2. This is the round of 32. All these players have qualified, and with BratOK losing this first game, he still has 2 more games and 2 more chances to get a victory over Stall Life.
I wouldn't count BratOK out yet, though. He is a fantastic player coming from the Eastern Bloc squad, the Master Ukrainians, and they're actually doing very well for themselves in the IPL so far. White Raw, BratOK, Straylock, just such impressive players, and best of luck to him in the next game. We will be coming right back at you guys with that, so don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned.